Hello, my name is Ryan Ashker, and welcome to the Sports News on CW57, your home for local high school, collegiate, and semi-pro sports. This week we visit with Waunakee, Evansville, and much more. It's the Sports News brought to you in part by the Red Zone. Now let's get you off the bench and into the game. The Wisconsin women's hockey team has been picked to finish second in the WCHA by head coaches in a preseason poll. The Badgers were picked to finish behind the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Gophers received 6 first-place votes, with the Badgers claiming 2. To round out the preseason polls, Wisconsin junior Sarah Nurse received a vote for the league preseason player of the year, while freshman Michaela Gardner and Sophia Shaver each earned a vote for the WCHA preseason rookie of the year. The Badgers opened the season against Providence College on October 2nd. Former Packers quarterback Brett Favre joins Terrell Owens and Alan Faneca, among others, as modern-day nominees for election in the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2016. Voting for the honor will conclude on the night before the Super Bowl, which is February 6th. Favre, the 3-time league MVP, who aside from the Packers also played with the New York Jets and Minnesota Vikings, retired from the league holding records in nearly all career passing categories. He has since been enshrined in the Packers Hall of Fame and will have his number retired by the club on Thanksgiving night against the Chicago Bears. The Milwaukee Bucks have extended the contract of general manager John Hammond through the 2016-2017 season. Hammond previously had 1 year left on a 3-year extension with the organization. Hammond was hired by the Bucks in 2008 and won the NBA Executive of the Year award in 2009-2010 following Milwaukee's 46-36 season. Hammond, along with coach Jason Kidd, brought a resurgence to the Bucks following a franchise-worst 67-loss season. The Bucks finished 41-41 and reached the playoffs. Along with a wealth of young talent and a new stadium on the way, the Bucks look to be a franchise on the rise. The Wisconsin men's basketball program landed a verbal commitment from Kobe King of La Crosse, one of the state's top prospects. King is listed as 6'3" guard who played for La Crosse Central High School. He was first-team all-conference selection last season and is considered to be the top junior in the state. King made his commitment via his Twitter account. Former University of Wisconsin Stephen Point standout Kevin Gibson has received an invitation to attend the Tampa Bay Lightning 2015 training camp. In his senior season as a Pointer, Gibson was named WIAC Player of the Year, a CCM first-team All-American, and was a finalist for the Sid Watson Award, given the Division III National Player of the Year. Last season, Gibson led all Division III defenders in points per game and led the WIAC in assists. During his collegiate career, Gibson totaled 83 points in 117 games, was a 2-time first-team All-WIAC performer, and helped the Pointers to national runner-up finishes in each of his final 2 seasons. Despite 2 player ejections for targeting, the Wisconsin Badgers were able to pull out of their 34 consecutive non-conference win at Camp Randall over the weekend. The Badgers, who entered the game ranked 24th in the nation, defeated Troy of the Sun Belt Conference to the sum of 28-3. The Badgers defense had a good showing in the outing, holding the fast-paced offense to 255 total yards, 84 below its season average. Next up for the Badgers, they will welcome Hawaii into Camp Randall. CW57 is your home for local high school football all season long. Join myself and Rich Reynolds. This week we head to Evansville to cover the Evansville-Albany Blue Devils and the Edgerton Crimson Tide in the Rock Valley Bowl. Games air right here on CW57 Saturdays at 4 and Sundays at 1:30. We'll be back with more of the sports news in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. Right now we're joined by offensive coordinator for the Evansville-Albany Blue Devils, Mike Maeve. And you have a chance to see his team take on the Edgerton Crimson Tide this weekend in the Rock Valley Bowl, part of the A1 Furniture Bowl Series right here on CW57 Sports. Coach, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
So 5-0 start, your team's off to a very good start to the season. Tell us a little bit about that success.
Well, we got a nice junior-senior class this year, and they've really came together and played some good football. We have 3 really good running backs and a nice offensive line, and our defense is probably as good as it's been in Evansville for quite a while.
From what I've seen, it does look like a very impressive team. I'm very excited to come down and cover you guys this week. Now, individually, have we had any players that maybe weren't expected to step up that have really made an impact on the team?
Yeah, well, we've had a couple key injuries. We had a lineman go down, and a junior by the name of Austin Anderson came in, and we didn't miss a beat. Our star, Brennan Banks, he's a big basketball, football star. He went down. We didn't have him for the Jefferson game, and at 4-back. and he's usually a huge part of our offense. We had a sophomore by the name of Sam Hagley came in, and we didn't miss a beat. It's just Coach Grovestein really emphasizes that next man up, and it's kind of been that way so far, and it's helped us out.
And you mentioned that big win against Jefferson last week. Talk a little bit about that win, what it meant to the team, and now you guys are obviously playoff eligible.
Yeah, it was interesting coming into the game when you have weather like we did last week. It kind of equalizes things.
Yeah.
We think we can throw the ball around pretty well, but we got a little one-dimensional because of the weather, and we just we just got physical and we pounded the rock, and we kind of wore them down there.
Now, as you're looking ahead on the schedule, not only for your team, but for the conference as a whole, who is your biggest challenge as a team that you face and to bring home a conference title?
You know, I think Edgerton is going to be a pretty good challenge this week. When you play Edgerton, you throw the records out. That is our rivalry game every year. And Mike Gregory, I know he gets their guys amped up to play us, and we do the same over there. And it's going to be a pretty good atmosphere. And sometimes homecoming can be a distraction, which worries me, but I think we'll be all right.
So I was just going to ask about that homecoming game coming in and making sure the kids have their heads in the right spot for that game coming up and not maybe looking ahead to the festivities afterwards. Well, we want to thank you very much for coming in. Once again, Coach Maeve, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. We are very happy to have our next guest back. It is Jeff Smuel, driver for the Dodge County Fairgrounds Speedway, part of the Dodge County Speedway Association. Jeff, thanks for coming back. How are you doing today?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me back.
We have some very exciting congratulations for you coming up in just a moment. But first, how did your season end up at the Dodge County Fairgrounds this year?
I'd actually won with winning the feature and the championship on the last night, so that was pretty cool.
And it was obviously very exciting for you to win the championship, but it was a very close contest between the sport mods. And on the last week in the season, I know you're good friends with Brecken Kleinschmidt, and his season did not end the way he wanted to, and probably not the way you wanted it ended either. You guys were in the middle of a very good race going against each other. He got caught up in a wreck, but I imagine it would have been a lot of fun for both of you guys to kind of play that off to the end.
Yeah, actually, we went into the night with a 4-point difference. I was leading by 4 points, and I was pretty nervous that whole day because it was such a tight point battle. And once we got racing, I was just kind of laying back. I had taken over second and just kind of riding it out to see how everything was going to play out and going to take it easy. And the leader in front of me actually spun on his own, and I was able to sneak past, but he ended up wrecking majority of the field, which Kleinschmidt was involved and took his car out of the race. So it was kind of a win for me, but I was pretty bummed that I didn't get to race with him.
Understandable. And then that also led you down to Boone, Iowa for the IMCA Nationals. That's a really big honor. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that and how you were able to get down there?
The IMCA Super Nationals is the sanctioning body's big event at the end of every year. And there's usually on an average of 150 plus cars in each division competing for 30 final spots for the big dance, they call it, Saturday night. And this is the first year I went down there. Anyone can go down there that races for IMCA, but I really wanted to do it this year because I was also eligible for the Race of Champions races, which didn't end up working out for me due to mechanical issues. But it was an awesome time down there. I ended up making the final 30 field for the big dance, and a lot of people told me that was a pretty good deal because people go for decades and don't make that show. So it was pretty cool to make all that.
And to make that big dance, you actually won your heat, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct. I won the heat race, which puts me into the A-Main qualifying race for that Tuesday night. And I had to finish top 8 in that. I started 3rd and fell back to 6th on the last 2 laps because we had a bunch of caution restarts. So.
And very quickly, just a couple seconds left, can you tell our viewers a little bit about your victory lane celebration?
Which one?
The big one.
The big one. I capped off my championship season up at Oshkosh Speed Zone with proposing to my girlfriend of 8.5 years in Victory Lane.
So that's fantastic. That had to be a bit of a shock for her and just an all-around great night. We're assuming she said yes, correct?
Absolutely.
Congratulations very much. And you have one race left up at Oshkosh Speed Zone that'll cap off your 2015 season?
Yes, I do. This the 25th and 26th, they have the Fall Classic, so I'll be up there giving her for hopefully the big paycheck.
Well, there you go. Well, Jeff, thank you for coming back. We want to congratulate you on the track championship, the trip down to Boone, and of course the engagement. Come back, visit with us soon, all right?
Will do.
Jeff Smuel, part of the Dodge County Fairgrounds Speedway, track champion in the Sport Modified division this year. We'll be back with more of the sports news in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to the sports news. Right now I'm very thrilled to have one of my best friends on the show here. His name is Ryan Johnson and he just completed the Ironman here in Madison. Ryan, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks, Ryan. Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit of information about the Ironman. What is the distance? How far did you actually go and how long did it take?
So it's actually kind of 3 sports put together. It is a 2.4 mile swim and then a 112 mile bike ride and then you finish with a marathon, so a 26.2 mile run at the end.
Wow. Now, I know just because I'm around you quite a bit, but for some of our viewers that don't know, this isn't something you can just roll out of bed and do. What kind of commitment and preparation did you have to do in order to compete this?
I mean, it's not only monetary, you know, having to pay for the race and get a fancy bike and all that business. It's also a lot of time you have to put in, you know, at least 4 to 6 days a week of hard training, you know, running, biking, swimming, trying to put all those together in one day, basically.
And now Madison, I understand, is more of a challenging course than some of the other ones across the country. Why is that the case?
I actually looked on a website and it is ranked 3rd in the United States for races, for Ironman races, as far as the run and the biking portion because of all the elevation change.
Okay, now individually for you, what was, out of the 3 sports, what was your best? What did you feel most strongly about?
The run by far.
The run?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it very common? I know I was out in Madison, as people saw last week if they saw the show, watching you compete. There was fans everywhere. It was really cool, heavy, fun to be an athlete competing in that. Is that normal throughout the country, or does Madison have something special with that?
From what, I haven't done any other Ironmans, but from what I've read online and what I've heard, Madison is something really special. There is over 5,000 volunteers for just 3,000 racers, so they almost double us. And just the crowd support is amazing.
Now, what else is special about running the Ironman in Madison, Wisconsin, as opposed to really anywhere else in the country that has the event?
What makes it special is, I think, the people.
Sure.
I literally, on every single one of the hills, running the entire time, there was people yelling and cheering my name. My name was on my, on my tag, my number on the front, and just an amazing amount of support. They keep you going when your brain is telling you should stop.
Now, individually, what made you decide to do the Ironman, to put in this work and make that financial commitment to do this event?
I bought a road bike last year, and that I realized I could do quite a bit of distance on that. And then I was inspired by 2 of my roommates from college. They did an Ironman race last year, and I figured if they can do it, I need to do it as well.
Fantastic. Now, you said running was by far easiest for you. What was the most difficult?
From the beginning, swimming. I think a lot of people say that. I couldn't, at the beginning, I couldn't swim from one end of a pool to the end. And by the end, with all my training, I was able to front crawl the entire 2.4 mile swim.
Wow, now is this something you're going to look to do again in the future, or was it kind of a one-time life goal?
It's not something I'm gonna do every year just because I had to sacrifice a lot of time with friends and whatnot. But I would like to do it again. I think maybe 2017, I wanna do that race again.
Fantastic. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on the Sports News today.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. Right now we're joined by our friends from Wanakee Girls Tennis, Meg Matheson, Bobby Stricker, and Laura Kim. Ladies, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So talk to us a bit about the team. What are your goals as a team for the season?
Well, right now is to continue playing well into this conference, which is next week.
Okay.
And our ultimate goal is to make it to team state.
Very nice. Now, what makes your team better? What makes you more improved over some previous years?
I would have to say, since last year we didn't graduate any seniors, it was just juniors, sophomores, and freshmen.
Oh, wow.
Our team dynamic has been so strong throughout last year and this year. You know, we're a family of sisters, and we play for each other, not only for ourselves. And, you know, we practice together, play together.
Yeah,
all the
even in the
time.
off season and the winter, we're always playing together. So
Yeah.
being that close really helps us do well throughout the season.
And because tennis is not only a team sport, but also individual, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as you're playing that, it kind of gives you added motivation as an individual to kind of win for your team and help out the greater good.
Yes.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, we're all focused on, first of all, winning our own match, but collectively, each of us winning will help us win as a team.
Yes.
And you mentioned being able to kind of come together as a group. As a team, what would you say is maybe the biggest loss you had or the most influential loss that made you guys bring it together and really kind of strive to be better than that?
I would say a huge loss for us was against Arrowhead. We actually played them twice this year, and both times we lost by one match. It was 3-4. So last year we didn't do as well against them. I think we lost 0-7. So the fact that we improved that much really gives us hope for the state competition.
Right. And Middleton, we lost to them at sectionals last year. So, and that was such a small margin we lost to them by. So that's definitely a good amount of drive to keep pushing forward and keep improving throughout the season.
Those are some of the hardest ones to take when you lose by a little. Sometimes it's probably better to get blown out than lose by a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the team goes, you guys mentioned you're more of a sisterhood, very close. What is the dynamic with the team, you know, between now a couple seniors on the team and obviously the juniors, freshmen down to the sophomore to the freshman level? What's the dynamic as the team as a whole?
I think it's really special how close we are, you know, on and off the court, especially off the court. You know, even when season's over, we're always, you know, hanging out in school and on the weekends, and like I said before, playing over the winter. So I think having that strong base really transfers to the court, and we all support each other really well.
Yeah, and a lot of us have been on this team for 4 years also, so we've grown a special bond.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, very nice. Well, ladies, we want to wish you the best of luck on the rest of your season and continue that upward swing for Waunakee girls tennis.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
That is Meg Matheson, Bobby Stricker, and Laura Camp, part of the Waunakee girls tennis team. We'll be back with more of the sports news in just a moment. All right, we have a very exciting guest now. You may have seen it on the Super Bowl each and every year. Doritos does a fantastic competition where viewers just like you can make, submit, edit a 30-second commercial for the opportunity to win $1 million. And they've been some really funny ones in the past. I'm sure you've had the opportunity to see them. Well, today we're talking with one of the winners from that Doritos competition, Mark Feinberg. And he made the Fashionista Daddy commercial, if you remember that from last year, where the dads were outside playing football, dressed up in makeup, and I believe it was a wedding dress and some other cool stuff. So Mark's here to talk to us about the last ever Doritos Make the Ad competition here on the Sports News today, and we're very excited to have him. Mark, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Thank you.
So this is the 10th and final Crash the Super Bowl ad campaign for Doritos. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it feels for you to be a part of that campaign?
Yeah. I mean, as you said, this is the last year of the campaign. It's been going on 10 years strong, and you know, to have been a part of it has been really wonderful, and to have you know, been a winner and to have Doritos actually invite me back to kind of be a part of this last year has been really wonderful. So. It's been, you know, as I think you kind of alluded to, it's been sort of a catalyst for my career, you know. After winning this contest, just things started to really move and roll for me, and as I've heard some of the other stories of some of the other past winners as well, it's kind of done some of the same for them. So, you know, this year Doritos is having a really big prize to end it. You know, not only, as you said, you know, the $1 million is going to be given away, which is guaranteed this year. So whoever spot actually airs during the Super Bowl is going to win $1 million. And then that person's going to get to go on, similarly as I did with Michael Bay and Transformers, they're going to get to go on to work with Zack Snyder on a new film with Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment. And Zack, as you know, is the director of the current Batman vs. Superman film that he also made with Warner Brothers and DC. So there's a lot at stake this year. Even the two finalists that don't air during the Super Bowl are still going to win $100,000 each, which is brand new this year. Doritos has never done that before. And those two finalists are also going to get to work with Doritos on a future project together. So it's gonna be a lot of winners, a lot of prizes this year. They're going big for their last year, and as you said, it's been fun to just be one small part of this entire process.
I could imagine. That is very exciting stuff. Some big prizes and a chance for people to have fun with it too. Before I get to how it impacted your career, as you hinted to it a little bit, the opportunity to work with Michael Bay and on Transformers 4, is this something you've done a lot of in the past, or what's your background with this? Or was it just simply you had a funny idea and got a couple buddies together to make the ad?
Yeah, I had a background kind of working in like micro-budget movies that I was kind of shooting in North Carolina leading up to that. Never had actually like worked in Hollywood per se, and I've never made a commercial before. And but I was familiar with the contest and always wanted to enter and was kind of interested in entering, but just never did, and kind of thought like, well, there's a lot of people that enter and I don't know how my chances would be. But when I saw that particular year that they were having this additional prize to work with Michael Bay and Transformers, it's like, okay, I gotta finally give it a shot. And thankfully did, and it worked out. And so what I ended up doing was just getting together with 3 of my friends who were kind of similar, like mine, and we all sat down and sat in my apartment and just hammered out ideas until we finally found one that we thought was funny enough and would work for the brand and work for audiences during the Super Bowl. And went and shot it for $300 at my friend's house. Used his daughter in the ad, and then sent it off. Uploaded it to the Doritos site and sent it off. And lo and behold, it ended up becoming a finalist and then actually airing and winning.
Wow, that is really cool. That's a lot of fun. Now, you mentioned you worked on Transformers 4 with Michael Bay. Can you tell us some of the other doors this opened for you in your career just by winning a commercial competition with Doritos?
Yeah. I mean, and that experience in itself was just massive for me, and it soaked in so much, that I learned from that. And then beyond that, that led to me getting signed by, one of the big 3 talent agencies here in Hollywood, and then from there, that led to me then getting in the door to start meeting with studios and start meeting with production companies to kind of talk about my own projects. And that gave me kind of the open door to start pitching, which I did, and landed a really cool project at a great production company, and we're developing that movie now and hoping to shoot next year. So it's just kind of been, the contest was the catalyst that started all of that, and it's just been kind of, rolling from there.
That is very exciting for you. Congratulations and good luck on that as you go forward.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I tell you what, if you ever need an actor, Mark, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to come out there and have some more fun.
Yeah, come on down to LA.
So real quick, while we have just a little bit of time left, can you tell our viewers how they can enter this year's competition?
Yeah, your viewers can go directly to Doritos.com to get all the information on the contest, the rules and the regulations, and I would also highly recommend watching all the previous year's winning spots on that website as well. That way you can get a feel of where you want to move forward as you begin to make your own project.
And that is the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl contest. You can make your own 30-second commercial, upload, and have a chance to win $1 million. A lot of great prizes. We've had Mark Freiberger on with us today, winner of last year's campaign, and that was Fashionista Daddy. Mark, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sports News today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more of the sports news in just a moment. Thank you for tuning in to Sports News this week on CW57. We want to thank all of our guests for stopping by and letting us know what's going on in the world of sports here in the Madison area. You can tweet me using @Ash41 and tweet the show using #TSNCW57. Until next time, my name is Ryan Ashker, getting you in the game.